If you're considering getting a Doberman for the first time, you better be prepared for the job you're about to tackle. If you're not prepared, it's no different than me trying to change the oil here on my wife's car using this tool belt full of random tools from the last project. Got a hammer, tape measure, got nails, got scissors for some reason. All right. Engine's still a little hot. I think if we just... Oh! Oh, yeah! I knew that was right. Where's the nail? I don't think that's good. You see, I've owned dogs my whole life, but when I got my first Doberman, that's exactly how I felt. I was completely ill-prepared for what I was getting myself into. So I made this video so that you won't be in over your head like I was. So these are the top 10 things that you should know before jumping headlong into this thing and getting your first Doberman. The first up is to find a reputable breeder. Take your time, don't rush this, but find a breeder that does health testing on their dogs and can provide proof of this health testing. It doesn't just say they do health testing on both the parents and the puppies. Second of all, make sure that the breeder breeds for both temperament and health of the dogs and not just for some show titles or lineage of champions in the past. And I actually did a video about this. It should be popping up your screen right up in this area, I believe. Take a look at that video if you want some more info on that. Number 2, Warlock Dobermans, also sometimes called King Dobermans. They don't exist. It's not a thing. Some unethical backyard breeders will label their dogs as Warlock Dobermans to try to command more money for them, when in reality, 9 times out of 10, they're either just normal Dobermans, slightly on the large side, or they're Dobermans that were crossbred with a Great Dane, for example, to make them look a little bit larger. But a Warlock Doberman isn't real. It's a sign that it's a non-reputable breeder. There was a famous Doberman many generations back called Warlock, but he was a normal sized Doberman. There's really only 2 main types of Dobermans to pick from, the American and the European variety. Number 3, they require a lot of attention. These are high energy, intelligent dogs. They need 1 to 2 hours of exercise every single day. Some need a little bit more, depending on the individual temperament of the dog. You need to keep their mind engaged because they're so intelligent. They cannot be left outdoors. They love to be stuck right there with their owners, and they love to be right there close with you, and you just can't ignore them. They can be extremely well behaved because they're so trainable, but you have to put in the effort to do it. Number 4, they're highly adaptable dogs. Now, I think this is a great plus from the breed. I'm not going to just scare you this whole video. You got to put in the effort in the training, but these dogs can adapt to many different situations because of their intelligence and their desire to know what's expected of them. But you got to interact with them, and you can't ignore them. Number 5, their large size can sometimes cause problems. Now, they're technically classified as a medium-sized dog, but honestly, they can weigh up to 100 pounds, and in my mind, that's a large dog. You could potentially have a 100-pound dog crawling up into your lap when you're watching TV, crawling up into your kid's lap. If they're ill-trained, they are very hard to control with a dog that's that big. Especially when they get excited. They could bump into or knock over your kid or roll over your cat if your cat's playing with them. These are things you got to keep in mind. Number 6, they can get expensive. Now, the Doberman puppy themselves, at least where I live around here, it's between $1,500 to $2,500 for the puppy from a reputable breeder. Now, once you have the dog, hopefully you're feeding them quality dog food. They're going to the vet. They're getting their heartworm and flea medication. I spend, and they eat a lot of food because they're larger dogs. I spend probably $200 a month on my dog is about average. Now, you make sure you have a little bit of money put away for an unexpected emergency, because these dogs, if they swallow something wrong or they get hurt when you're out on a hike, for example, you might have to go to the vet, and make sure you have at least a little bit of savings, a couple $1,000s put away for those unexpected emergencies. Number 7, the puppy stages are tough, and you got to dig deep and you got to stay consistent, especially for the first year of the dog's life. It does get better as the months go by, so I don't want you to get discouraged. After about 1 year of age, you'll notice your dog's starting to get more independent, and at 2 years of age, if you've done things right, usually a dog can be completely trusted in the house. But that first year, you might just be sitting down to watch TV, you might have just sat down for dinner, and especially with potty training, for example, your dog needs to go out. Too bad, you got to get up. Don't just let it go just this one time because you're really tired or had a rough day. You don't have that option when you're raising a puppy. So stick with it. That first year's tough, but it'll get better. Number 8, These dogs hate the cold. They have a single layer short coat with the exception of a small area around the neck, and they really do poorly in cold weather. They're definitely indoor dogs for sure, so don't get the idea that you'll be able to let them sleep outside in the cold or be outside all day long in the cold, because that's not going to happen. Number 9, consider rescuing a Doberman. You know, there's a lot of Doberman specific rescue centers all around the country, and a lot of people think they need to go to a breeder to get a Doberman, but really these rescue centers have these dogs that are just loving, amazing dogs and dying for a home. And I would argue that they might even bond tighter with their new owners because they knew a life before you and before all that love and attention that you could give them. So if you can do it, if you can adopt a rescue dog, a Doberman rescue dog, do it, because it's a great thing to do for their breed. The only time I would say to take caution would be if you have really young children in the house and you're adopting, say, a big, strong, powerful Doberman, and you have maybe toddlers in the house, for example, and you don't know that dog's history. Take a little extra precautions, really think things through and make sure it's the right choice for your family. But otherwise, if you can do it, do it. Number 10, check with your landlord if you rent, or your homeowner's insurance policy if you own a home. Unfortunately, those who don't know this breed very well may still classify these dogs as a vicious breed. And it's a shame because really they're not, and you know that from watching my channel, but make sure you know what you're getting into. Your landlord may not allow it, and your homeowner's insurance policy may not cover it. And honestly, there's actually even some communities that you'll live in where there'll be ordinances against owning one of these breeds. So make sure you figure these things out before you get a dog. Just make sure you spend a little extra time researching this breed than you think you need to. Watch a lot of the videos on my channel. I provide lots of crash courses on this breed that'll help make it a little bit easier. Talk to owners who have owned Dobermans before so you know what you're getting into. Make sure all your questions are answered first. If you subscribe to my channel, you might even be a lucky person like this person right here and get mentioned on the channel. This person, here's their comment right there, just subscribed and said, "I just found your channel and I love it. Of course I subscribed. I've had and trained Dobermans for almost 40 years now. They are simply the best breed out there to me, so well-rounded." I couldn't agree more. Thanks for watching, guys. And remember, don't be like me. Make sure you got the right tools to get the job done. I think if we just... Ooh. Nope. Nope, that's not good. Hey, hon, when do you need to use your car next?